Hey, what's up, spooky fam? I watched 20 films in the month of April. Can you please not eat that bag? I know this can get quite long, me talking about different movies, so I'm going to try to avoid sitting here for half an hour talking about every one of these films. I'm going to try and condense this as quickly as possible because I know that you probably don't want to sit here for half an hour listening to me talk about these films. Hey, if you actually enjoy hearing me talk about films, hit me up because I love movies. So anyways, follow me on letterboxd, Deadgrl, YT. No, oh, I don't know why I just had a brain fart. There is no I in girl and there is a capital YT at the end. I will leave it here for you. I will leave it linked down below. Follow me on there to keep up with what I watch every month. I try and watch on average around 20 movies a month, so. Starting on the 4th, Marcel and I tried to watch the Impractical Jokers movie and I absolutely hated it. We shut it off, I think 15 minutes in. Yeah, 15 minutes in we shut it off. I should move over here so that I can insert my reviews. I despised it. We watched so much of the actual show Impractical Jokers that seeing them in that movie, it was just ridiculous and I didn't enjoy it. So then instead we watched The Kill Team, which was absolutely fantastic. My heart was in my butthole the entire time. I love anything that Alexander Skarsgård is in, and I'm surprised how well Nat Wolff was, like, in that role. It was fantastic. On the 5th, I watched Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, and Letterboxd actually shared my review of that to their Instagram story, and I geeked out a little bit, but it was such a powerful story. It broke my heart into a million pieces. Thankfully, I have not been in a situation where I needed to seek Planned Parenthood advice. I don't want to say anything too dark on this channel, but this movie really showed the hardships that you might have to go through. It's very dark, but it's very real, and I think it's very important. And then on the 7th, I loved C'est La Vie so much that I made Marcel watch it with me. I think Ari Aster is such a fantastic director. I really would love Marcel to watch the whole filmography with me. He's seen two full-length, both of his full-length features, and one of his short films now. So you watched Munchausen. So he's seen 2 short films. So I would love for Marcel to finish watching all of the Ari Aster short films, and that's just me being selfish because I want to watch them again, but like not alone. And then also on the 7th, this is actually a month for stand-up. I watched Bert Kreischer's Hey Big Boy and I loved it. I love Bert Kreischer. Even though he's a joke thief, I don't care. I think the way that he doesn't really, like, he tells real life stories now. Like, he doesn't try and show off by like telling, oh, I was kidnapped by the Russian mob or whatever. He tells real life stories, and when he shits on his wife and kids, it kills me because it reminds me of how my dad would talk about me when I was a kid and how like, oh, she's so dumb that she, true story, I did a cartwheel once, but I still can't do a cartwheel. My body somehow sandwiched itself and I winded myself. And my parents, instead of helping me, they knew that I would get myself into some sort of trouble, so they just stood there and laughed. So just things like that reminds me of how Bert Kreischer talks about his wife and kids, and it really hits me in the giggle dick. Then on the 9th, I watched The Squid and the Whale, which is by Noah Baumbach. It was very mature, in the sense that it was written very maturely. It felt like I wrote in my review, the script felt very to the point. A lot of the characters were severely unlikable, but it's fine because I really enjoyed contrasting that to Marriage Story. Marriage Story was 100% like so different in the terms of divorce, but it was a great movie and I enjoyed it. And then on the 11th, I finally watched Good Time. Holy shit. I talked about that more in my last video, my DVDs I like hauled while in isolation. Good Time, I finally bought it on DVD. It was such a wild ride. It broke my heart. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time just saying, no, Connie, why? Like, it was such a great showcase of Benny Safdie as an actor and Robert Pattinson as that actor. And it really solidified the fact that Jennifer Jason Leigh plays a lot of unlikable characters. Annihilation, Amityville Awakening, like she was really unlikable in both those films. Same with Good Time, very unlikable. On the 12th, I rewatched The Departed. I love that movie. If there's one movie that gets me jazzed up and like, oh my god, I can't believe like this movie is it is such a beautiful piece of filmmaking and cinematography, and Martin Scorsese just hit it out of the park with that movie. Every time Shipping Up to Boston comes on, I like lady boner. It's so good. Oh my god, the end scene is it comes so full circle, and it's so great. If you have not seen The Departed, please dedicate 2 hours and 45 minutes to it and enjoy. It's kind of like, it's a hard story. When you try to tell someone what it's about, like, oh, informants and this and people undercover, and not really, but like, you know, they're going and it's a web, and it's a very entangled story, and it's really hard to describe to people, and you just have to watch it. Also on the 12th, I finally watched The Florida Project. Okay. I am not okay. The Florida Project was so beautiful, but so sad. And I am so glad that they found, I forget her name in real life. Her name was Haley in the movie. I follow her on Instagram, and her name was like Chronic Flowers, but I'm glad they found a real relatable person to play Mooney's mother. It just made the story feel so much more real, and I think that was one of the most likable roles Willem Dafoe has ever been in. But the end scene with Mooney and Jancy, I have never felt so heartbroken in my entire life. It ended, and I looked at Marcel and I just started crying. He didn't even watch it. Like, I was watching it on a completely different television, and I just looked at him and started crying. I couldn't take it. On the 14th, Marcel made me watch That's My Boy. I have nothing to say about this film. It was ridiculous. But I did write in my review, Adam Sandler's character in this movie and in as Howard in Uncut Gems, same voice. Hilarious. Also on the 14th, I watched Tom Segura, Ball Hog. This one I didn't like as much as Bert Kreischer. A couple of jokes were really good, but I just don't find him as funny. I find his wife funnier than he is. Christina P., I feel like she's way funnier. And then on the 16th, I watched Crystalia, No Pain. I was waiting. I had a reminder set on Netflix when it came out on the 14th. I waited a couple of days, only because I had a feeling I wasn't going to enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to, and that was the truth. I watch a lot of Congratulations, his podcast, so when I see him doing stand-up, I just don't feel like it is as authentic as his podcast, so I don't find it as funny. I feel like he's already told these jokes to people, so they're just 17th, I watched Logan Lucky finally. It was so fantastic. Steven Soderbergh is a fantastic director. The way that his stories all come full circle, and when you have that moment near the end where you find out like the reveal, there was an amazing reveal in Contagion, but like the reveal in this movie, it was like, oh, that's how they got the money. Okay, that's how they got away with it. It was a really cool ride. And it really made me like Riley Keough. Is that how you pronounce her name? I'm going to watch The Lodge in a couple of days. Probably tomorrow maybe. I'm just really excited to watch The Lodge. On the 18th, I watched Ocean's 8. I'd never seen any of the Ocean's movies before, but this one was fantastic. Holy shit. It was so well paced, it was so fast paced, the script was really good. I've seen a lot of people shit on it, but it was, for what it was a very fun movie to watch. And it did keep my attention. I was trying to just have it on as background noise, and I watched the entire thing. On the 19th, Marcel, between the 18th and the 19th, we watched Waco. And I sided with the cult on this one. Not usually I would say that, but it was just so unwarranted, and it was so, like, you watch the series and you actually feel like you like these characters, and Thibodeau was such a likable character, and so was everybody. Like, everybody was kind of a likable character at some point. Like, you kind of feel for them, and then shit goes down, and it's just like, is this really happened? And it fucked me up for a little while. On the 22nd, I made Marcel watch Bridesmaids. He had never seen it before. I love Bridesmaids. I saw it a million times back when it first came out, and it's still, I think it makes me laugh more now that I've been through life experiences and had more life experiences. It's a really funny comedy, in my opinion. Very well written. Very good to analyze. Like, what's her name? Annie. She is a great character study. On the 26th, Marcel made me watch Apocalypto, and I'm still not okay. That movie absolutely was too real. It was too visceral. I ended up watching a documentary with Mel Gibson the day after, and just knowing what went behind the making of that film, it felt way too real. I was not expecting that movie to be what it was. It was kind of hard to watch, and I've seen a lot of fucked up stuff. I am a sick puppy, and that was really hard for me to watch. Like, in comparison, I'm fine with Cannibal Holocaust. On the 27th, Marcel finally watched Scream. He had never seen Scream. We were going to watch Scream 2 tonight, but he has to work early in the morning, so we're going to postpone it to tomorrow. I love Scream. I have only positive things to say about Scream. It is so well written. I love Jamie Kennedy's character. I love almost every character in that movie. They're all, even some of the unlikable ones. One of my favorite lines is when, what's his face? You know, Buddy. The quote when Billy's like, "Oh, The Exorcist was on, it made me think of you." That's me. I love The Exorcist. But I just think that is one of Matthew Lillard's best roles. He's so weird and wonderful in that film. And then finally, on the 29th, I finally watched Jigsaw, and I actually have such positive things to say about it, so stay tuned for my I finally watched video. Anyways, this went on for a lot longer than I wanted it to. I hope that you enjoyed. If you've seen any of these movies, let me know. If you plan on watching any of these movies, let me know. Don't forget to follow me on Letterboxd, link down below. All of my other social medias are linked down below, as well as my Patreon and Amazon wishlist, because that is how you can support my channel directly. And I will see you guys in my next video. Sayonara, suckers.